In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, PL 1975, Chapter 231, the notice requirements have been satisfied. The meeting dates for the year are confirmed at the annual meeting are posted on the public bulletin board in the lobby of the municipal center and published in the record within the first 10 days of the new year. Salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hey, for the record, Councilwoman Dr. O'Connor is attending the meeting remotely today. She's up there on the screen. And Councilman Michael will be about 15 minutes late this evening. Okay, we have a presentation. Ready?
Here.
Councilman Berkman, here. Councilman Bennett, here. Councilman Lyons. Councilman Dr. O'Connor.
Here.
Councilman O'Connor. Here. Okay. Oh, here's a here. All right. Okay. The first, we have two presentations this evening. The first is the Pride Month proclamation, which Councilwoman Dayton is going to read. But first, I just want to acknowledge Natalie Kavanaugh is here, Chair of the Pride Committee, and Chad Coleman from the committee. So thanks for being here this evening. Let's go ahead.
First of all, I want to thank our entire Pride Committee for the work that they do. We have this borough and other boroughs that are not as inclusive, and for the county, so thank you. I would like to read this proclamation, kind of like Pride Day. It's in two parts this year. There will be a flag raising on May 31st, and our celebration will be on June 11th. Please come join us. And I will be at Tyler. Proclamation. Whereas the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, asexual, pansexual, gender non-conforming, gender non-binary, gender fluid, questioning, and all others in sexuality and gender identifying spectrums are LGBTQ plus community unjustly and unfairly faces inequity, prejudice, fear, isolation, hardship, discrimination, harassment, violence, and disruption of their lives. And whereas this nation was founded on the principle that every individual has infinite dignity and worth, and the mayor and council call upon the people of this municipality to embrace this principle and work to eliminate prejudice everywhere as it exists, and whereas the borough of Tenafly reiterates its commitment and seeks to make this proclamation to promote civil rights, human rights, equality, inclusivity, resilience, respect, dignity, freedom, visibility, parent and youth initiatives, and education for our LGBTQ plus community and all of our diverse residents. And whereas the mayor and council adopted resolution R18-129, written by me and passed on April 3rd, 2018, which established the declared Pride Day for the municipality, recognizing the need for increased tolerance, understanding, and acceptance amongst our residents and our larger community. And whereas additional education and awareness remains vital to end continued discrimination and prejudice, and Pride Month is an invariable opportunity to recognize the hard-fought rights and gains society has made in ensuring civil rights, justice, diversity, and to celebrate the LGBTQ plus culture, which are still constantly being challenged. Whereas Pride Month influences awareness and provides important advocacy for the borough of Tenafly's LGBTQ plus community. And this is an opportunity to take action and engage in dialogue to strengthen understanding, build acceptance, and advance equal rights. And whereas Pride Month is an opportunity for the borough of Tenafly to fight a harmful and hateful rhetoric against its LGBTQ residents and to safeguard all residents, regardless of sexual orientation and identity. Whereas the mayor and council of the borough of Tenafly recognizes and proclaims the month of June 2023 as LGBTQ plus Pride Month throughout the borough of Tenafly. And whereas the borough of Tenafly will have a Pride flag raising on May 31st, 2023, And whereas Tenafly Pride will hold celebration for its community and all residents on Sunday, June 11th, 2023, with a community gathering in Highland Park. Now, therefore, the mayor and council of Tenafly, city of Bergen, state of New Jersey, proclaim June to be Tenafly Pride Month to celebrate our LGBTQ+ Tenafly community. Be it further proclaimed that the Pride rainbow flag will be raised on May 31st, 2023, and hanging throughout our town, recognizing all LGBTQ+ residents whose influential and lasting contributions to our neighborhoods make the borough a vibrant community in which we live, work, and visit. And Tenafly Pride will host a celebration on Sunday, June 11th, in support of increased tolerance, understanding, and acceptance of Tenafly LGBTQ residents. Thank you.
Want to come up and say something? What do you? Just give us your name and the microphone and your.
Natalie Kavanaugh, 83 Hazelton Terrace, Tenafly, New Jersey. I just want to thank all of you for both at the podium here and who also in the audience and applauded that we are still able to hold our event. These times are tough and are getting tougher around the country. I think Tenafly has been recognized as a board member of the BCLA Bergen County LGBTQ Alliance as one of the major forces in the work we're doing as a township, and I appreciate all your help in getting this off the ground every year. So thank you. Thank you to everybody who supports us. Keep supporting us. We need it more so than ever. Thanks.
Thank you for being here. Now, what time is it?
So the flag raising is at 3:30 on Wednesday, the 31st, and the parade is scheduled into 1:30 and celebration continues at Highland Park and approximately.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda, BFJ is here tonight to talk about transportation safety and flow recommendations. John Howard, can you come up to the microphone, please? Hold on, I'll the wireless chair.
Greetings. Thank you for having us, Mayor and Council. It's good to be here again. Once again, the Mayor and everybody else involved with the downtown revitalization plan. And we're going to go through what is one of the major actions that's now the plan, which is the creation of recommendations, transportation recommendations we have. But before we get started, I just want to hand over the Michael's, Council Michael's, anyone else and David J. Who have been instrumental in pushing this forward, as well as the administrator, Timmy Ponce. My name is Noah Levine from BFA Planning. Our role on this project has been a smaller role in our private plan. This is really the transportation engineering projects, and for that, granting engineering is Sarah Conjaro.
I'm Jarvis with engineering. Thank you very much for having us this evening. I'd like to feedback on Adam's things. I have been making special thanks to our public service in town. The police, fire, and the ambulance force have been instrumental in us being able to set traffic and doing our stuff. And I want to put a special thanks to them. It's a great work here in the phenomenal. And I want to put a special thanks out especially to companies and the police, which is all helpful as well.
Thank you for that.
So today, I'm just going to provide a very quick intro to the project. I really want to save a lot of our time to develop. I'll give you an introduction. A lot of you were involved with the downtown revitalization plan. So you know kind of what led to some of the needs of really take a harder look at transportation. But really the purpose of this plan was focused on safety, pedestrian safety and vehicular safety. We looked at these three lenses. Safety was one of the biggest things that we heard through all the outreach downtown, making downtown a more walkable place to visit. Also improving traffic flow and movements. County Road has been problematic. John Road to the why. Eastland and Dean, so it's been an issue, and we have a lot of recommendations that we think will make a massive improvement in how downtown functions. And then lastly, is accessibility. This really recommendations will be presented really for a win. We improve traffic safety, improve the flow of traffic, and also create a sense of improved look and feel to the downtown, create a place that we want to visit. The plan came out of the downtown revitalization plan. The slide that shows some of the outreach we did. Some of the things that we heard about the downtown, I'm sure you've heard this, is that people feel it's an unpleasant place, that unpleasant look and feel. A lot of people in this survey said the downtown development. Also, when asked how satisfied people are with traffic, the downtown, most people say about satisfied. So there really isn't an appetite for improvement. As part of that project, we had 2 workshops. We had a public survey, an ideas wall, with most recommended comments, a focus group, meetings with high school, middle school students, but we really feel like we've heard a cross section of residents in the community.
No, I want to, if I can just step back just 1 second for the council. So first, thank you for all that you're doing there. I think just for the council, obviously we all know there's no voting tonight on anything. I think, and no, please correct me, John, please correct me. I think there's still about another month and a half of the project. What I think they're looking for from the council tonight is direction on sort of priorities. They laid out their recommendations, and actually, in addition to, and I know many of you guys were on the public session last week, you'll see in the council does a great job doing all of our pre-reading with cost estimates as well in the back. So I think I think the best, and John, generate from us is where are the priorities, what are the things that, yeah, definitely like this one's really, really silly, such that over the next 4 to 6 weeks, they could further refine those cost estimates and those engineering plans, such that we could decide then as a council, obviously, we want to take action on. Yeah, so I think it's more of a prioritization or a focus on direction. Obviously, there's no voting tonight on do this, not do that.
That is the point. And I think the way that we structure both the downtown revitalization plans as well as this project is things that are action oriented. What can you do now? What the first thing you need to do or could do? What the second thing you need to do? And the third thing you can do. We have, we haven't suggested order priority. I don't know how much time we have. I know that we done your due diligence.
I can't probably say like just 10 or 15 minutes of presenting, and I think again the council does a great job of doing a pre-read, and then leverage most of the time to have the council ask questions.
Okay, this slide talks about the current recommendations already done. All you all know, there are a lot of projects that are underway that came out plan. Move to the next slide. Just talking about traffic flow fees. A lot of the difficulties in downtown have to do with the fact that the railroad has to do downtown, creating kind of a crisscross network of intersections that are overly complicated. And then, a lot of what we have come up with ways to streamline those intersections. Also improving pedestrian safety by narrowing some of the intersections, improving crossings, and then also aesthetic place making, thinking about really one of the big improvements would be to retake the bus stop area, because that really does cause a lot of confusion and issues with various intersections. So if you want to take that back, it would be an opportunity to create a little SIP on the downtown City crossing train station. And so there's also another intersection that we looked at, Dean Street, and it's certainly something that has been addressed for about that many years. As most people probably know, if you look here, it's always been an issue. And it hasn't changed. But we looked at that, the traffic study, and we had to know that we did find that there's need to signal at that intersection. Next slide, these are all the kind of priority intersections that we looked at and improvements. I'm just gonna kind of give my time on this one, see if we're gonna go into what we so. Yeah, okay.
The slide you see up, it has a brief rundown of the prioritization requirements. So, the road safety and operations planning process. So, to point out how we do this, first we do study them. So we perform traffic counting and observation. We focus on downtown intersections that are made study area, and we develop a model. We have what's called a SQL model. Very expensive software program. So we take all the data and we put it in. And the reason we do that because when you want to make changes for road systems, it's way cheaper for me to go ahead and put in a little model. In first class on the computer, then it's about try it and see what happens. So what we've done is we ran numerous scenarios and numerous options on what we've done, and some of the real confidence from the result. The map you see right now are the 14 intersections that we studied. Next slide, please. This was one of the questions that we had. It is worth asking. We can guess at the most number of crashes. If you go to the next slide, we're going to make a guess. All right, we're going to go to the next slide.
Jeff already knows the answer.
So, so for the sake of gravity, I'm not going to go through all this with detail, because there were no surprises. Where the most number of crashes are is what we need. And we do have a lot of our police hours spent. If you look at the every change, the main traffic study which we provide everyone, you'll see that the page for page going through the automobile accidents. All right, there's a good reason for this. Next slide, please. And we have a number of locations in town. Again, none of this is going to surprise me. We know that the intersection of Main and East Clinton and New Street has challenges. It's actually a very quaint old traffic light that's there that probably has some history to it, but it really needs to be replaced with a mild signal. Drivers who are not from the area, they want to look at that intersection, horrified because they don't know it. There are other places in town where the traffic isn't really intuitive, and this creates a lot of confusion for drivers. The slide I show now shows our local service in the 2023 year, and then of course what we've done through the track line, we have very nominal background, which is if you look at the next slide, please, that indicates the intersection where once again we expect to have more congestion and there will be more challenges we do not. So obviously the focus of the slide, the focus of the study was quite important. All right. So one of the things that really is the white elephant in the room, railroad that runs down our west. So we have to confirm. So you have this corridor, Westboro Road and Piermont, that create almost a double lane. So you actually create this great situation with parking on both sides, have almost a double lane street, but we have the challenge with it. The railroad is coming on 60 bars. We need a lot of green time. There's a lot of information and technology that's built into even old systems that's hurting the traffic dead because they're taking into account a train that's never going. So one of the things I did was contacted NJDOT. And now Jimmy and I had meetings with NJDOT. They're actually helping do other issues that were ongoing. There's a girl crossing that hasn't been fixed for a long time. The state has stepped up and there's been some open line communication now. To get Conroe, get that work finished, they promised to do what a year ago, or longer. Yes. Well, that's the road that is owned by Conrail. They actually are the property owner of it. But long story short, it's irrelevant to us. We only All we care is we want this out of the state. NJDMP, the Commissioner of Transportation, and ultimate jurisdiction over all of it. Bottom line, it doesn't matter who owns it, who wants to go out. The Commissioner of DMP has one say. And that's what we want. Early, we did get down to now. We showed our concerns, and what we're going to do now, hopefully, we can move forward with getting the rail crossing to be out of service. So if it's crossing, at least check down to the point where hopefully other things can happen. Right now, if we were to go with the traffic light, we have to make it go down the train, it's never going to come. And until we get some of those changes made by the state, the work is phenomenal.
This is the single biggest, so what of the whole thing. The traffic lights literally believe there is a train that goes through our town every 10 minutes. And that's why we're getting stopped at all the lights. Massive.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Great, by the way, Thursday night. Did a great job. So you're saying New Jersey Transportation has ultimate authority over, correct, the rail. So the federal government has zero say in this? The ultimate say, well, because that's what they do the guiding regulation. At the end of the day, the Commissioner of the New Jersey Department of Transportation, all right, has the final determination of now, if there's something that goes past that, the FRA can get involved. The FRA simply can deny the that helps the NJDP or the rule that. Okay, so it doesn't matter this track across the state line. Anything that's within this state, our commissioner has responsibility for and makes the rules for that. So, yeah, she doesn't follow all the FRA time. So it's really, so I think you're saying, well, of course there is, but rest assured, we're following this. And moving forward, so, and that's what we're going to do, we're going to get these rules on our side, to get them to get some power out there. Thus far, hopefully we'll make some progress. Certainly.
Saying to the commissioner, saying on temporary.
Not to be fair, we're going to get posted as a.
So it's not going to be abandoned on federal level. Okay.
We don't have the control to do that, but the department understands what we want, and we're starting to take the first steps to do something. All right, we don't really know what the ultimate end will be, but we should start something.
John, sorry, John, maybe the change, the benefits of changing that status, we kind of like leave some of that, that might be beneficial.
So there's significant benefits, okay? It makes it so that, we can improve the timing of the signals without having to have, the railroad involved. We can move the redemption timing, like to start working well, we can change the project and do other things over the rail that require us and have tremendous amounts of work that aren't required. And you can solve pedestrian improvements once again without having the rail that have what we say.
So it's not a temporary designation, it's looking for a new designation on it.
It's a new designation well, it's one that can go either way, but once we get it, we can work under that rule on that one goal. And that's the goal, more savings.
Lauren has a question.
So I'm the Northern Valley Region liaison for Tenafly. I've been on this project for 6 years.
Over successful.
You and me both.
I love to see this happen.
You and me both, but I will tell you, and maybe this will be a side conversation for us after the fact. The reason why they're not touching that railroad is there is a large interest still in putting the light rail through here and expanding the Hudson line. Have you had any conversations? And so maybe we'll take that offline.
Then that's very on that. But the discuss and the amount of money and where we're all going to take that have to be is outcome. I don't have to. But this is what we're getting. Just part of the. That whole world they're gonna scoop out and they're gonna put in place that whole thing.
It's not,
You know how money is gonna be required for that? Astronomical.
but in these conversations where you're talking about a new designation, as with the same conversation when you're talking about the possibility of the light rail.
The direction we're going now is more one that would be someday where it would be something like a progressive or some other type of model.
I mean, the goal, of course, right now for the NVG is to get this as a rail to trail freeway. For the next 20 years, they can fight about what it can be, but in the meantime, our community gets the green space. But very interesting.
So you first what you're doing, and you need to follow this and work with the state to do our best to move this to others. There's no question, everybody agrees. But if I walk it down the road, you know, I walk, and down. But all time is everything gonna help. Wow.
New, that. Are there new rules, but right now, we want to pay. Although parallel with the guys, they have seen people out there, they have for their. Are there a second?
Once we get the designation,
The non-service designation.
the non-service designation, we will have to just send them a notification. We're not waiting for approval, that I can launch preemption of the signals, and my house, my focus right now is the lights. The lights. This is what I look at. Okay, so that's my focus right now. And if we put together this designation, I can be kind of lights without all that monstrous nonsense. The tiny record is the one like, if 18 inches long, it'll be 2 months. Just to give you a.
It's not hundreds of millions, things are like that. You know, I think one thing we have to work on is the singles, doubles, triples, and home run, right? This was a huge insight. But it's like, it's massive, but I would argue it's a single in the sense that it's not $100 million to do, and it's not 100 years. That's the first. It is, absolutely.
Lauren, go ahead.
That, I have to write that much question. I saw you about it, official Thursday, by the way. It's a fantastic job, and we've had travel studies before, but not to this depth. Sorry, again, I want to say thank you. So my question is, let's start off. So we have a finite amount of money, which is also fine. We need to be very smart about how we do this. So what I would like to hear from DOJ and for you is, why did you pick the order? What will happen if we do phase 1 and then wait a couple of years, which hopefully won't be the case, but I'm trying to figure out financing, of course. So why the order? What will the traffic look like in each phase? That's really where I'm going.
For the most part, I think what we're gonna do is sure.
Yeah.
Let's get the rest of it. Let's get it.
I would actually just go to 32, and then you get. Yeah. Exactly the question that I think council.
We're going to slide through the.
Which is the priority.
So we're skipping ahead, we're not gonna go back and forth, right?
Yeah.
We're just gonna. I don't know.
Well, I think we'll get into all the details.
Go ahead.
Okay, so let's skip ahead.
There's phases.
So we propose these 3 phases, and they will provide the most benefit per step. You don't have to do every single thing in this order this way. And if we need to change, I can always go back and run the model and say the result of these, you can change that order. My recommendation is this. Get a great town manager. We have a good keen eye for knowing how to put things together. Us as a community to determine how much our attendance is for valuing the project and putting our resources forward. And then leverage those resources and and from further and to bring our fight to the higher governing agencies. And so long as we have skin in the game and we are putting our money forward, they will be that much more interested in helping us. So, for example, in my discussion with the police and the county is definitely going to consider coming out and helping with upgrade the roads. When the county comes up with a though, they are a new license to become responsible. Okay, and we no longer have jurisdiction that like the county takes over. In my discussions with the police, they're perfectly fine with it. But this requires action on your part. We'll have to agree that when when we the jurisdiction of the traffic light in the county. We do that, then we can work with the county on the improvement program and signals that are on the county.
John, it's very interesting because I was one who was doing work on River Edge Road, traffic lights and median. And when I was in the conference call with the engineers and the county said, look, we are happy to give you permission to change the lights on Tenafly Road and Piermont and all of the ones that cross River Edge, but you'll pay for it and you'll maintain it. So that's a very different take out here in the first time.
We would want to leverage our resources with the county and have the county prepare for us. Okay, and we need to figure out how to do this.
The downside of the county taking over jurisdiction.
Well, the downside of the county, you no longer have the ability to define the light, change the light, make things move at the intersection of county. Okay, they're maintaining those lights.
River Edge and
Everybody on county, all right, so I'm going to light that I'm doing, just follow one place by county. Okay, you are currently taking care of those rights. You maintain them, you find them, you're responsible for them always. So you can move on them. So you have to, at least that number would have, if, like some towns are very proactive and they do things and change things and will really have their hands in proposals. If your police are perfectly fine, they get these like, right, so after going through, and back to the big report and the billion accidents, I hate you that number, but it's really a lot. All right, they're better. Okay, they really need that. The police really wholeheartedly want to see this engineer work out and see improving something. But they're spending so much time and quite honestly, so much of your resources. There's not you want to get correct.
So tell us about these phases.
Okay, so, I mean, obviously, the easy part of phase one is, being in. He's kind.
That's county perception.
Yeah. I thought, it's the first one on the list, and
In terms of traffic flow to our downtown and towards town, is that like holding us up or is that just a barrier to us? It's actually flooding about.
it's one of the key ones of the injection problem for it. And it's the top intersection is really, and it's not the biggest price tag, it's not the biggest nut cross.
So I have another question on the intersection. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but in Maywood, they have these semi roundabouts where you can actually go, and that might be a nice new concept.
So we want you to bring that up. We need to have, okay, let's have a talk about it. Okay, yes. So, one of the, so. I'm the right guy to call in when you need traffic lights. Okay, no one's the right guy to call in when my rent.
Well, of course, but, you know, I was pretty worried, my colleague at the actually. We did look at it, as part of the downtown vision plan, just to see, what the turning radius is. They gave quite a lot of space in the traditional intersection. And so in order to do that, you need to come into, how we know. We need to acquire more like one to accommodate that. We looked at it also for the kind of American investment, and it just requires a lot of space. That's too long. If you look at neighborhood, that's super wide.
It's not a traditional roundabout within the center. It's like you can actually just turn your car.
But it's really gross wide.
And when I did it, it didn't feel out there, but.
Based on.
No, I should read it.
It's in the right. Let me help you right. My professional thing, the engineering answer is, there is no intersection here that I'm working on in our main study area that we can figure out how to go around. We just don't have a way. Now, if there was some way of doing it, I would love to have incorporated that. They're very efficient. You don't need to have electric to run them. They're great things to have. Your solution, your downtown traffic flows are 100% based on traffic lights. That's already said.
Was there any conversation?
Go ahead.
Any conversation with the owners of the new hotel that's going on in to take some of that land to the traffic or to figure out some sort of better space outside of your store?
What we could do though is think about the fact that there will be a future use there and to improve the pedestrian crossing across West Clinton there, because that's going to be a place where people can want to walk to and from to get to downtown. But yes, it's out of our scope. We thought about that being kind of a pedestrian connection.
That would be something, we're talking to the county board about, if there is a process of county board approval, I would love to have things fair. So it would really help to get ten there. This way you can avoid, I don't think we're ever going to get any property for the funeral home. And that very term is very difficult. Luckily, there's very few trucks there. So I'm pretty confident that town probably will enforce that they'll have us do. If we work with a situation with the county, I think the county will really push too hard enough having to do something there too. There's very few trucks there. But if I had a little bit more room across the street, like an intersection over, like do some creative stuff, I think that's very important.
Quick question for you. So in phase one, the new signal at Dean and East Clinton, but the other upgrades and coordination signal, the signal, those happen in phase two. So you can do East Clinton and Dean as a standalone signal, new signal there without negatively affecting the rest of the signals and changing them? Okay.
We could, here's we are housing. If we have the ability to apply for a $10 million grant and realistically have a path to getting that, it have to just be one shot and get it. That would be one option. The other option is the exact opposite of that. And that would be, it has to be a little less on, creating a paying report, or 5 years, or some plan where we cherry pick, priority improvements and move them in place that time over. Some of the real easy improvements are that, right? So the big improvement that kind of really happens, overnight improvement, is fixing that one. It has to be regular traffic light, it's gonna help more than 4 hours, it's gonna help. When we do Friday and 8 hours, then it's just gonna be better. That one intersection. It's gonna go to a county project. Probably cost $500,000, I guess it's roughly $500,000.
Okay.
Okay, if we do it ourselves.
Yeah, no, it's really hard to hear.
County is going to participate in the funding, then we're gonna do it their way. So, once again, it's, how to bring it home.
Just one thing, I think it's interesting that in the phase 1 projects, all things that borough can do within a month. And the phase 2, those county limits, all things that presumably you want to get by and work with the county. So that's not what they're thinking about. Also, it's kind of like phase 1 of things that, if you wanted to write a check, you could do that and move forward. But 2, we can probably work with the county.
The other second one is of the finance is Photo Pyramid at the train station restaurant. We would like to keep that as a first paper. The fire department wanted to have maintain some way from the chief from that road staff to do. We have a lot of creative ways we can do that. Very simple project. It'll make a nice improvement in that area. It takes the leg off the intersection. It'll absolutely help county road and these kind of help everything with that to make that.
So I love that concept, but one of the pushbacks I've gotten over the past couple years on floating Dearmont was from the bus route and the slowdown of the buses as they're picking up passengers, but it was that caused congestion along county.
We're gonna do, okay, I'm cutting off.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a phenomenal reputation in New Jersey Transit. And when I tell them that their buses are gonna go faster, trust me, it's gonna be over. Because they're gonna believe you, because they're coming from them local, and it happens.
This is unbelievable. If we could achieve this improved time, I mean, to go
If the bus are
from
moving.
4 minutes and 3 minutes to 2 minutes. This is real time for real communities, for just outstanding. I'd love to be able to achieve that.
The other easy improvement, tremendous impact on the downtown, is really the bus stop. And redoing that area and in our park area, the police and I have talked about this, and we may not want to do the parking lot, maybe just drop off that zone, in this way, they kind of come up with a balance for the bus stop area. I think it's gonna, again, it's gonna require a good amount of money, and the more money you spend on it, the nicer it's gonna be. Yeah, we do.
I was just saying, one of the nice things about that is that you can really do that as kind of a pilot project where you can mark it off, strike it, and see all over New York City, the follows, and like, not need to move curves. Obviously, you want to put the money into it, looks nice, but during that time, you can think about how the space is used, from a planning perspective, there's a organic component to it. Are people using it to eat, put out the movable chairs, people need a place to park, do we want to have some kind of flex space for other events or skating, what have you. You can take the time to decide when you're going to do it.
That only issues, the depot there is just impossible. It would be such a great center place. The place for gathering, I've seen it be extremely successful in communities. It's all depending on what your vision is. You're the people that make the decision. Oh my God, you do something like that. And it's right in the right place. It really is. Right, location. Now, question that means from very department. It's right along the property in the train track. Right.
That's for how will we get permission to do that? Our whole permission or this basement.
But again, so long as we're working adjacent to the trap and we have to get involved at this point, I think that we're gonna get a lot more experts. So if we wanted to start the gazebo project a while. All right, we get, Eric Soder from NJ to come out, show them the plan, propose it, like Eric gave it, probably within 2 weeks, we have it. They are engaged in helping us. They see what's going on here. So, and they have been getting great. And I've worked with Eric in many other communities. Every time he comes, he says he's gonna help, he does. He's really a great representative. We're lucky that he's our area. You know, like, you know, then you go to some place that the people in charge, he's in charge, we're great. We're in communities that everybody's behind, and he's on the scene, he's gonna have to get both times now. Jimmy and I have another meeting with him on June the 8th, we're moving forward.
Just
Back to the.
you talk about that out of service, the nation.
Yes. So is it like,
No, I get that. What's the realistic timetable for that?
I have no idea. Okay. Just so you know, I for them to get girls and girls back for them to just buy anything else. In the past, I helped with council in the third job, so I'm not really sure what, who knows? There may, we may end up taking steps and going, you know, that would be the whole thing, we can figure that out. But, I think a lot of questions that get answered with wildlife rail, or, you know, there are bigger picture things that are outside of our statewide, statewide.
What's your best guess is the judge's point? Again, just for like
None.
a day, a week, a month, a year.
So, that is like any because we should be daily one. And I have been shocked in the past working with Eric on the jobs. All right, where he said, you know, he said, we're gonna do this, and I got a letter a week later saying, okay, it's done. So I can't even take the answer. I think now everyone's focused on getting these safety issues. Because when he's here, he's a big issue. Jimmy and Eric talk about that, and they are, that is number one. DOT number one priority is always it. All the other things are on the side. Right now, rail crossings, safety, removal. As soon as that's resolved, which I expect to be, hopefully by our next week, all right, then we'll have the next step. Realistically, I would say, let's give them, all right, I would say, if we can get them to get us results in 6 months, that's plenty of time to start.
This one, I hate to, excuse me, I hate to be well.
They come up with the unintended.
When you talk about evening equipment, that's just a night. But it is really, in my experience, tied into Clinton and County Road, that like that's literally 50 feet away, you put the backs into that.
The reason that's the next step, right?
I would almost think they shouldn't be done hand in hand. I mean, obviously, the best one being that you're recommending that it's one thousand.
Here goes the guy, the honest truth is it would be great to do all of these ones. We wake up on wording and, right,
The those just are two, so.
our mom predicts about 50% increase. I can feel in days that they do that and that's it. All right, basically, we decided to do this, we had the funding, we put a construction plan together, we went out to bid, we got a contractor, we built everything, a year later, we were able to join it. That would be the most ideal. I don't know if that's realistic, I think that probably figuring out a set approach and prioritizing things, but, you know, being in the parking there, having the bus stop, prioritizing Piermont, you know, taking the low hanging fruit that's less expensive, leveraging our dollars against the county dollars, you know, to more back profile. I think that's probably the more realistic approach. And, you know, figuring out that what I have to say earlier, that really is, I know, the number one goal for us is I all agree that something has to give up. So pretty much everyone is saying we're going like this all night. So I'm just going to go on board with that. So then the next part is exactly to kind of think about it. Then we figure out, okay, is the plan that right view and the BFJ proposed, does that make sense? All right, now I gave you some costing, actually, I had time before the presentation, I did refine our cost estimate is quite significant. So you have some very good numbers. These numbers are based on NGPs, we did index both for the last 6 months. So this is very up to date.
So I want to talk about every time you signal, you know, talk about looking through this is really a ballpark. I mean, this grand slam, I mean, this is 4 major intersections, retiming our traffic signals. When we looked at this in the past, one of the things that's been told to us is that the actual traffic lights and the engineering of it is very outdated. And that we should be looking to replace the entire system, and as you said, with better technology, safer properly, crossing and so forth. Is that this? No, that's just literally this.
That's just a little tweak, there's fine.
No.
You don't need to get into
And that's phase 3 where we actually replace that.
It's going to be successful. I want to say one, actually, the technology, just as you know.
No, I
You
agree.
need to, but again, you want to see if you can leverage that. Some of our proposals and field applications that we do. And they love to attract. So, and they're expensive, but they're quick. We can do a right, and, you know, from the time that it gives you the fund, to the time we have it in the street.
Would it make sense as we sit here today, as we figure out all of our funding, just be time those things? No, I think you have to do the major intersections.
I'm going to make sure, if you want this to be successful, you need to start at meeting and we fix that. That will have, that will be our anchor by which we fix everything. Start there and work our way.
And then also something that the signal, like at the bus stop and where the park is, you remove the light. And so you need to be time the signal also to, you know, to come back into that time. And then also deal with the railroad crossing, that's, you know, put into service. You could, get the answer for it.
I think that this is the map and this is the map happens, there is a certain order from the.
Stuff that you're not crossings, those are our school crossings for both high school and middle school for a good chunk of our town.
Yeah.
And they back up, and of course, then they affect county, you know, where they're coming on Piermont, on Central, on Road, on Tenafly Road, and that section. How do we divert traffic onto Piermont, where, you know, we're doing a two-way Piermont? How do we divert our traffic and our commuters versus our school traffic?
Taking the final step, basically, we'll turn on from the two-way street. And we make the other necessary things to do that. The traffic between, the county road, Fremont, and all the other north side streets, right, will naturally be lower. And you'll find that the take some of this traffic. Understand on the, you know, the whole thing is a balance. Right, there's a lot of focus on pedestrians. If you look at any intersection plan that you see, that we propose to you guys, you will see massive amounts of crosswalks. You'll see corner bump outs. You'll see a significant effort to put into pedestrian improvements. This is more of a balanced approach. All right, this approach is not car centric. This approach is balanced. It provides significant improvement to pedestrians. You are lacking the necessary pedestrian improvement to be needed. That would be a big help for them. Balance. All right, it might actually help some folks if they want to avoid cut through that. If you have good enough cut through that. Okay, balance is key to our success. We need to provide for pedestrians downtown. That will help the vibrancy. And I think people walking around, we have really great situation, parking, great overall. We just need to add. This is absolute recipe.
Sorry, to add, say things about complete street elements. This is kind of a large history. I just want to highlight the large history of application referral.
Our team, PFJ, is very focused on complete streets and doing what we kind of have away from. Somehow or other in New Jersey, we know that car centers, everything is only big, really, we pull the corners back and no room to walk the sidewalk anymore. So for the last 15 years of my career, I spent taking back all that space, doubling the size of the sidewalk, improving crosswalks, and making big wide crosswalks, and the safety improvements are absolutely phenomenal. And you'll see significant improvements. And also help the act. Having crosswalks, having a strike, having a more intuitive intersection. The goal is our design of all of these, getting things on the right, something down, they're not from here, they're going to get confused. There might be confusion at our intersection because it's just so, and it's just not intuitive.
I do want this question.
It's good, it's good.
So one of the main focuses, of course, for our business district is that they're not getting traffic through, Washington Road. That when they're not pushing cars that way, cars are literally passing by our shopping area. How can I focus so that at least we can drive some of our traffic? Or do you think because it's a better traffic flow, it'll naturally go now to our shopping?
Here's the thing. In the AM peak hour, okay, right forward, you're getting traffic to time.
Right,
Okay.
that's
Let's get folks to stay. Let's slowly track it down. The chief and cap are 100% on the same page with them. All right, there is, just, even state information. I don't know, the speed are going up. People are roads going up far. Because people are running COVID and they focus that they can right 80 miles an hour, 25. So, once we get the work right, we get these pedestrian features out there and get this corner bump out, now the lanes where they're supposed to be narrow, then get more of a sense of community, more of a sense of, hey, you're a downtown Tenafly. Hey, you're not going to downtown Tenafly. And it's starting to be more now, this thing is brand new, and it's a great place. But if you're not getting that, I'm here at all. If we can get these improvements, you're going to feel like you got this. And which is why that key element of the bus stop is something that I really need to go back and either again will focus on that because that's the jewel of this. That's your grinding in the road. You make that people come to Tenafly, they're gonna drive by there, they're gonna come down to West Berlin, Huron, and County, all the way. They're all gonna see that is going to be, they're gonna know the why. They're gonna know the about when we get there.
So what's the next step?
Yeah.
Well, I like to open up the house. I like it. I had a great deal of time. That's not even a whole features. I haven't heard anything says.
That represents something.
You did, maybe kind of relief, but I came up and had this kind of break. I hope I don't have. I'm sorry, but I couldn't get in.
What time?
So I guess it's about 9:30.
Oh, I was there, well,
Oh, because you see, it's terrible.
let's focus. Yeah. What are the next steps for the council can start making some decisions?
Next step is look at our goals and then look at budget. And look at what their options are. Okay, those for you guys. Number one, first one we're good. Second, we're better. And second, look at the plan and say, does this make sense? And see if there's some thinking that you can get done within 5 minutes. Once we set the 5 minutes, then let's use that.
You want some guidance tonight for the council, you want the council to spend for the next meeting to review this, study it, and then the next meeting will.
I want to be carefully timed. So the current timing on our timetable is that I think we have a final presentation at the end of June. So my hesitation is, I don't know if we need to wait for the next meeting to share stuff. I don't know if the council can share it with Jimmy, any of their feedback, and then Jimmy could share it with the review team. I just want to be official with everyone's time, knowing that 30 days from now that they're
Yes, Mark.
So one of the questions that I put down was, what is the timing of the grants for both the county and the state on dealing with the county roads and any state traffic safety and safety grants?
We shouldn't even talk to the state or the county until we have our activity.
Right.
All right, if we're gonna go, let's do this right. Follow the rules of step by step. Our plan in place, this is what Tenafly wants. If we follow county life, well, if we're in county, like, most likely we're gonna get an invitation for the law. Okay, it would be best for Jimmy and I call some county or system engineer and review our plan. Okay, and then I don't know what the shade is, and other funding. Right, I do know that we're in a lean place right now where the local rate has $2. And the new company in his office, and for some ways, they're rolling some of this in some of the. But first, let's get all the but make sure we agree on the approach. Let's make sure we agree to improvements I think you guys can have more time to figure out what you want to do with the bus stop and the downtown. I think you make some time to think that over, because that's going to be on you. And no one's gonna find that, it's gonna be very difficult to get out that on the less than 30-degree acre space or something crazy like that.
So do you want any guidance from the council tonight, where they stand or where they do things? Will that help you?
I'll be honest with you, I think we're in good shape. I think we really, actually, I think we're up to the curve of what we're doing for tonight. I think I've given you guys a lot of information that you can actually define and review and get on, and so next time I can have many of you.
So you'll be at this June 8th meeting, Omar?
But from that, we didn't.
I think the second one, June 13th.
Yeah, eighth is election, so there's no meeting after the and that's the first meeting.
And then what's after the 13th?
It is.
That's what it would be. It is 20, it'd be 20 something.
Yeah, so in terms of that meeting,
Council, the 27th, June 27th would be 20.
And you said, John, is this like on vacation, or John will not be along?
We can go to you. You just tell us where you're gonna be and the council will come to you.
Or we're going to Boston and Maine and on a road trip. I think, I really hear it, so just today, I don't use it.
No,
We're working. So we do it soon before or after, or do you?
let's see, we'll take it offline. So I just wanna make sure you go at the time, I wanna make sure we council.
yeah, that's fine. We'll communicate that to maybe the council. We should talk offline, not offline, but officially with Omar about having a separate council meeting just with the council, but it'll be a public meeting for the council to discuss for X amount of time or hours, what everybody thinks about this. But we'll have that offline. Yeah, we'll have a little brainstorm. We're open to the public, of course. Okay. All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Now. Okay, yeah, I presented, as much as I could for the time to present. All right, I'm perfectly willing to take hold of you, if you guys want to drill down on something that was bugging you, if there's something that's not, please, I'm offering myself. I think that it's just a thing. All right, well, I'm invested at 150%, so please feel free to leave, obviously, we'll be back to go to Jimmy, but if you do call me, I will, Jimmy, if it's okay with you, I will report it to you, anytime you call me, I'll report it back to you, talk to me, we'll talk.
Okay. All right. Thank you both for being here.
Great job.
Great work.
And by the way, community is created for, 20, 30 years.
Former resident, you have to come back and say that you grew up in that big.
And after that, we put one break out, right around the chest. That is what started, in the end, I went directly to the insult.
We're gonna talk.
Okay. All right. Next on the agenda is administrative report. Jimmy?
Thank you, Mayor. I don't take any questions. One item, the zoning board secretary retirement position, so it's internally active. So I did speak with the employee that's currently filling that position. She made it initially that stay in that position in June, but it needed to stay in July, which I think will be a good shift either way. I'm just awaiting letters of interest from the internet. And
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any other questions for Jimmy on administrative report? No. All right. So let's move on to correspondence. We have correspondence from Tenafly Library, one of the trustees. I trust everyone's had an opportunity to read this. Is there anyone from the library who'd like to come up and speak? But so it's just for the library board, so that everyone is aware. Put together the bid specifications, and the bid specifications are going to be move an alternate bid, which covers specifically the flat roof. Okay, so that we include that in there. So come on.
Contacting from the credit union, like, the partners, well, they need to put on the particular thing, and I can't be able to buy them because in fact, we don't want to be constructing problems about the library. You know, this is a problem, ongoing, for TV, the water coming through the world, and you want to we had a letter agreement where we library given considerable amount of money for into the project. And this is money that we can understand a lot of things. We have looked at what the areas we need to do, but also some of the libraries that I have. However, in the agreement that we specifically did not include the area over the picture where we connected. That part of the movie is fine shape and do that. Well, we found out on April 23rd that information was we had tried to get an independent engineer of our own to cast size for we basically money so we left it, we made a contribution, and on April 23rd, tremendous information was the wall for. And here is why. If you have a student project in the church work of thousands work. This is what this is what we look like. It's like what I'm doing now, needless to say, we have lost the ability to use that. And something are going to be able to use it. I'm sure the central farm around where the young children use that home all the time. And they use that now to be sorry. The result of the problem for the disease was caused by farming, however, the root itself is established. We have conditions taken right after the police occurred. And there were squirrels kind of been done all the time, as far as but you can see that the seams are all, they're not a line properly, they're bubbling, and the root is in terrible shape.
Could you just speak into the microphone a little more? Could you speak into the microphone? It's very hard to hear her. Thanks.
I follow you to use that works a little better, please. Thank you.
The calls made by the squirrel were past my island movement. However, you can see that there really remain an awful lot of other problems with the including the spaces along the seams, bulging, and also the underlayment is likely to have been soaked in the water. And this area really does need to be added to the roof replacement project. And indeed, it's not a very large area. It doesn't span the project by all that much. This area in red really designates what the area would be. Overall, a small percentage of the entire area.
So that area is included in the bidding, just that big.
Not. It's not because you were told by the borough.
You see that?
Sure.
I'm sure we're all on the same page here. What does it say?
Yeah.
To clarify, I confirmed, I did confirm, once on the phone with the mayor, the borough engineer, and I confirmed again with the borough engineer this morning that the plat group started as an alternate bid with the specs. So, we got, so what that means, that was as it was in the initial time we went out to bid and I believe it was. And then that's going to be the same way now. It was intended, it always was intended to be with the alternates for the flat roof portions. So what that means is you'll have the base bid, which is pretty much all the other areas. And then and if we wanted to see what the costs were, the actual costs for the flat roofs, we would have the option to include that or not, but it was always included as an option.
Right, but we needed it done. We
Oh,
had the area over the art gallery, as well as the work area, and now I'm using the documentation.
Understood. I don't want to speak on behalf of the council, but.
So just so we're all on the same page, where you walk there for a second.
It's on for tonight or Sunday, it's on for tonight, but we can do it faster.
About-
The situation is not one that you can,
Talk a little bit about the budget approval, the timing, this going out bid.
for tonight's meeting, for second meeting, there's an ordinance that will be adopted tonight, for $500,000, which is the capital plan. And 20 days from now, we can actually take that big, contractor, to make it work smart. The honor tonight, obviously, more than urgent. Well, we, yeah, that's why we decided, yeah.
Right, but those deadlines that Susan was speaking to, that's statutory. We can't do anything.
No, I hear it, but I mean, it's been going on so long.
It's very frustrating.
But when we see the downside. Now we had a really hole, it's not an abstraction.
Yeah. So what are the details, Susan? And if you have questions for Susan about some of the details in the time.
It needs to be-
Understood. Jimmy, you have
If
something?
I may add to that, because we do have Susan and I spoke just forecasting the timing, or, assuming certain things would be passed, like for that a certain meeting, like tonight. I believe it's the second meeting in June, we would have, I think we were forecasting out the timing, 20 days and sectional requirements, and we'd be able to have, the proposal for engineer forward, which, fortunately, we already have the plan made up, which is a simple updating of some couple of days, a couple of things here and there, so it's not a full start from scratch, which is beneficial for this project.
Look for the cooperative and state contract. I will do and. Just be perfect because the entire one, including the.
Yeah, so the platinum portions are listed as an alternate bid, so when someone does submit a bid, they would include pricing for those specific portions. And then it would be just as a way of process, it would be up to the governing body to decide if, in general, if they want to include an alternate bid. Yes. No, understand.
Good luck.
In the meantime, I'm sure it's gonna raise at some point in the next 5 days. What are we doing right now? What's on the roof? How are we protecting something like mold on that room?
Yes, I believe this was reported to our insurance provider. So there was some abatement companies and so on for the companies meeting of the room, and also our DPW up there to ensure that the drains are not clogged. And that it's cleared as much as possible when there's an anticipation of rain in general, every basis working more than once a week.
Are you accepting child book donations?
We have an ongoing sale with the friends. So. Yeah, I mean,
To replace what older have done?
I don't know, because the collection is very specific. I don't think that we just know, I mean, they were books that would be struggling with people with them. I don't think that we would be in general, we suddenly adjust from the front, it's not a catalog.
Is there any way to get the what was destroyed that I can distribute to our community and see?
The insurance will cover the book that was destroyed.
Just trying to help them that.
Any other questions?
I don't know.
We want to get this done very good. We understand it's very frustrating.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
for your
much.
patience. Appreciate that. Thank you, everyone, from the library.
I have a question.
Of course, Mark.
I believe on the letter that we received from you, it kind of absolved you from doing the roof if the bids came in over $500,000.
When you want to.
Right, so that's a legal issue because the council can only spend the money that's appropriated, so if the bids come in higher, then we would have to reject all bids at that time because there's no money appropriated and CFO and certified fund. However, then it would be back to the council again to decide whether another bond needs to be passed in order to increase the funding and appropriation. But all of that is a legal process.
So in other words, it's possible that we will not get.
Well, that's what my understanding, and I wasn't here, but that's my understanding of what happened in 2019. The funds weren't available for what came in.
And we're working to avoid that. That's just part of the, but we can't stand what we have, what has been appropriated. Any other questions?
Mayor, if I may, and just to add to that, just to make, the borough engineer and his team, did some due diligence to ensure current market rates, comparison to other like projects, from the timing material, and relations that have been, so they're a little bit more due diligence. And during that time, unfortunately, went out bid 2020, we couldn't see on some of the way how it would go. So now these are pretty good, estimates for current market rates.
Unfortunately, we have seen the quality of the work that the borough engineer does. And I'm amazed as a taxpayer that he is still on staff. I mean, the fact that the heating systems don't work, that every repair that he's done anywhere in town is second rate. And I don't know what he has on this council that they do not get rid of him and get a decent borough engineer.
Well, just to talk about the heating system, it's a 60-year-old system that doesn't really have anything to do with the current engineers. It has to do with the actual design of the original system 50 years ago. But that's a whole nother.
But it's the compressors of the units out in the boilers that are cracked, and those are not 60-year-old boilers.
No, those are completely separate, unrelated topics. We can have a whole discussion about that, but not at this point. Go ahead, please.
Now, Mr. Freeman, on behalf of the Tenafly Library friends, we just want to needless to say, we don't enjoy having to come to these town council meetings, but honestly, we are frustrated and confused by the fact that the library still does not have a meeting. We're also unclear as we get conflicting reports about whether the whole thing will eventually be done or just pause. We have come before you, warning you that the roof was an accident waiting to happen. We have had incidents of falling tiles and now tremendous water damage to the children's area. Not only has this resulted in a great loss of books and that the carpet needs to be replaced, but the room cannot be used for our patrons. What is it going to take to get a new roof? I have to believe in you guys. I have to have faith in you. I've been reading some of the things that you have said, and I appreciate that in some of the literature, strengthening our quality of life. Tenafly is a great place to live, and we're working to make it even better. Repaving roads and fixing potholes to make our community safer. I can only hope that that will include a new roof.
Thank you. Ready to present that, all right. Anyone else? All right, it's public comment time, and thank you all for being here from the library, appreciate it. Public comment, audience members wishing to speak will have a 3-minute time limit to address the governing body on any items on the agenda. Large groups are asked to have a spokesperson represent them. Would anyone like to come up with public comment? Just step up to the mic and name and address, please.
My name is Chad Coleman, 65 Hillside Avenue. At the top of Hillside Avenue, 3 years ago, on Mother's Day, a young mother was hit by a car. Since then, nothing's happened at that intersection one, which many of my neighbors pass every day. My daughter's classmates, well, commuters come out every day. A few months after that, on the road, where you cross the bus stop, a pedestrian was hit by a bus. As you know, and it's got down and everything, no pedestrians. And although those 2 deaths might not have resulted in a lot of attention, I think we have to remind everyone of the traffic accidents that were 2 months later in the same year. The traffic rates, or the pedestrian fatality rates for the town our size, would indicate that we would have a pedestrian fatality every 3 years. So just from what I've noticed, let alone what the reality is, we are well beyond that. I believe it's an application of political leadership to put off these issues. I too was a group in the library, I too was potholes filled on our roads. But one thing that I worry the most about when my child are issues like this. Very important to me, and I recommend Matthew Michaels for putting this forward and very well considered very gravely. I also like to add, given the confirmation being made earlier, that although traffic fatalities are a large threat to our children, as anyone who interested in public policy will be aware of, a new threat has emerged, even more grave than traffic, and that is gun deaths. There's been a lot of talk about gun violence in our town. The statistics on that would have a child in our town die from a gun death every other year. Obviously, that doesn't happen, thank God. The social iniquities in our country can explain why it hasn't. A third of those gun deaths, however, are suicides. And I don't have to explain to you that the disproportionate impact of the homophobia in our communities means that a lot of those suicides are by our day. And you appreciate Councilman Dayton bringing up this issue, and would encourage you to consider the fact that these are really vital issues that are very important. The reason I came tonight, I would say to you, and I appreciate the attention.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Come to the microphone. Name and address, please.
Christine Amron, or not Leroy. On the traffic study, I just wanted you to carefully consider whether or not Fairmont Road is a freeway. We have railroad and county both coming in towards River Edge Road. At a very, very confusing area. We live here by Mr. Locke, having traffic coming down there and coming to a stop and going either left or right out of there. When you're having traffic coming down railroad. Very confusing. I don't think Fairmont Road being 2-way is ever going to really fly. And that influences many of the other recommendations that they made in downtown. So if you're not going to do it, you need to specify that. And you will get a better product out of the rest of this. Which I think is absolutely bad.
Thank you. Anyone else here would like to speak in the chambers? Omar, is there anyone out there on Zoom who looks like they have their hand raised?
No hands there.
No hands? Okay, we're going to close public comment time. and move on to the consent agenda. Any council members have questions on the agenda? Go ahead.
There, if you don't mind, I'd actually like to read one of the resolutions.
Right, great.
Okay.
So. Go ahead, Councilman. Please read it.
So, we're clear for a second, thank you, Leslie, for.
That's not an consent agenda.
Don't take off. So,
Oh, I see it.
So first of all, I want to thank the woman for his comments, because this resolution, by the way, is Gun Violence Awareness Day, which will take place on June 2nd. You can see that. Thank you. So every year in Tenafly, we acknowledge the gun violence that occurs not only within our borough, but within our state and our world. And I know Councilwoman Julia O'Connor and I are both part of Mock Demand action against gun violence. And this is the day where we recognize gun violence here in New Jersey. I'm just going to read the end of it. And it says, whereas along with other participating municipalities in National Gun Violence Awareness Day, Tenafly advocates for stronger laws and policies that will reduce gun violence and save lives, and seeks to create a culture of responsibility and safety by advocating the following evidence-based gun goals: supporting measures that ensure concealed handgun permits have a specific purpose, closing deadly loopholes in our background check system, promoting gun safety measures at home so children and communities will no longer be at an unacceptable level of risk, supportable reasonable limits on when, where, and how mobile handguns are carried, concealed, and used in public places, creating enforceable laws that is trafficking, fraudulent transfer of firearms, ensure sufficient medical health support and resources for our community. Tenafly will have Gun Violence Awareness Day this June 2nd, 2023. I encourage anyone in our community in support to please wear orange to raise awareness about gun violence and honor those lives and lost human potential of Americans stolen by gun violence. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor and Council of Tenafly, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, declares June 2nd to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day and to advance responsible gun safety measures and protections for our Tenafly community.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Any other questions from any other members on the consent agenda? Okay, if not, can I have a motion, please, to approve resolution 23-199 through resolution 23-215?
So,
Have a second? Omar, please read the roll.
Councilman Dayton.
Yeah.
Councilman Wilson.
yes.
Councilman Bennett.
Yeah.
Councilman Williams.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Okay, any questions on resolutions R23, 216, and 217, Council?
Hold on a second.
Good question.
No, okay.
Any other council members with questions? Okay, can I have a motion to approve resolution 23-216 through 23-217?
Mayor, can I interrupt a second?
Wait, hold on a second.
Mayor, it's Paul Lurch.
Oh, Paul, how you doing?
I'm good. I just want to, just as a point of order, I just want to make sure that we do this in a proper sequence. 2316 obviously is not related to the budget, so you can go ahead and do that. But 2317 needs to come after we have the read the budget by the title and public comments of the 23 budget. Once we have the 23 comments, we open it up to the public, the budget as originally introduced.
20, wait, Paul, 20, the 23-217 is amending a prior resolution, it's for a grant application, it's not the budget.
Oh, I thought that was the amendment resolution that should be on here as well.
That's fine.
Oh, hold on, we're looking.
So you can go ahead and do, I'm sorry, you can do 2316 and 2317, and we'll address it between 23-218. There's the amendment resolution that should be on the agenda as well.
So on my paper sheet, it says 23-218 is read budget by title only and public comments. 23
Oh, right, it's telling us there's another one that should be
then
there.
there's a non-adopt the local budget. You got this number on the office.
Hold on a second, let's get these first two resolutions out of the way, and then we'll move on to the next step.
So it should be,
You have a question, Omar?
yeah, can we vote on this separately?
Want to vote on 16 and 17 separate? No problem. Okay, could I have a motion on resolution R 23-16?
So moved.
I have a second. Omar, read the roll, please.
Yeah. That's the minute, yeah. That's what hurts.
Yes.
That's what that right?
Yes,
Okay, could I have a motion to approve resolution R 23-17, please? Got a second? The second, please. You want to come up and say something?
There was an amendment that I'm gonna, Jimmy and I.
Okay, this is option 17.
Now.
Look, I have a second on 23-17.
So just for clarification, R 23-217 is amending resolution 23-196, which is how much the borough is seeking in grant for the Roosevelt Commons. Oh, okay, or the area, hydrogen.
So we have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, hold on, hold the roll, please.
Councilor Day?
Yes.
Councilor Wilson? Yes. Councilor Bennett? Councilor Hurts?
Yes.
Councilor Ravindra?
yes,
Okay, all right. We're moving on to the 2023 local municipal budget resolution. Excuse me. Okay, that comes after this,
The
right?
resolution to
Right.
read budget by title.
Right, so, Councilman Park, would you like to make the motion, please?
I move to resolution 23-218. Yeah, let's see, multiply.
Have a second? Omar, please call the roll.
Councilor Day?
Yes.
Councilor Wilson? Yes. Councilor Bennett? Yes. Councilor Hurts?
Yes.
Councilor Ravindra?
yes.
Councilor Hurts?
Okay, now we're gonna take 2 minutes until Susan comes back. Commercial break, everyone.
So I just earlier, just both of my husband at the game, and he would say that eight, I think it's around this squirrels were actually on the field and up the game. So squirrels are our. Take out for Yes.
We're ready. So,
Saying they don't offer that from bottom, so I got to.
Mayor.
yes,
So I just spoke to Susan. She's going to retrieve the email that was sent to her, and she's going to print out the resolution. So what has to happen is that we'll have the original budget read by title only. We'll have a public hearing on the budget, and then we'll insert a new resolution which will be an amendment resolution, and all it is a change in title on a revenue. We're just reclassifying something that was called consolidated municipal property tax relief to municipal relief fund. It's a procedural issue, and the state made me make the change. Susan didn't realize that was included in her packet the other day.
Okay,
You're gonna make it up.
And then once you do that, Mayor, then you can adopt the budget.
okay, so right, it's read the budget by title, and now we're gonna do this about it.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, let me go make the card.
Okay, all right, everyone.
But we can open a public comment in the meantime. Well, so Paul just read out for everybody what the change in the title of the one appropriation line was, right? So we're calling appropriation line or revenue line?
It's a revenue line item change. It's just a terminology change is what it is. Yes.
Freddie read that out, so we can open to the public and I got our public comment.
Okay, I'm going to open the floor for any public comments on the adoption of the 2023 local municipal budget. Is there anyone in the council chambers who would like to make any public comments on the budget? Okay, seeing no one in the chambers who wants to make a comment, is there anyone out in the public on Zoom who would like to make a comment about the budget? Okay, we're seeing no one who's interested in making a comment. We're going to close public comment time on the 2023 local municipal budget. Okay, well, Mark, what resolution numbers are going to be?
Correct. And 219, which was on the agenda, 219.
That's 2023 local municipal budget, 20.
Correct.
Right, council members have any questions about this, new resolution 23-219, which is resolution to amend the 2023 municipal budget, having to do with the general revenue topic. Any questions from council members on this, or would you like an explanation from the auditor or the CFO? Susan, would you mind coming up?
I don't have it in front of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Paul, can you do this for us?
So, what Paul had indicated was that it's a change in the title that was requested by the state.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, very good. Councilman Grossman, would you like to make a motion to approve resolution 23-219?
And move to adopt R 23-219 about 2023 local municipal.
That, I'm sorry. It's for the amendment.
Amendment.
Okay, so that's fine. I can. I move to adopt R 23-219 resolution to amend 2023 budget.
Second, please. Omar, could you please call the roll?
Councilmember Davis.
Yeah.
Councilmember Burke.
Yes.
Councilmember Bennett. Yes. Councilmember Martins.
Yes.
Councilmember Dodd.
Yes.
Councilmember Clark.
Okay, now we're going to move on to R 23-220, the adopted 2023 local municipal budget. Councilwoman Davis, would you like to make a motion, please?
Again, thank you to your staff, all of the staff. I move to adopt R 23-225, which is the adoption of our 2023 local municipal budget for.
Have a second, please. Omar, could you please read the roll?
Councilmember Davis.
Yes.
Councilmember Burke.
Yes.
Councilmember Bennett. Yes. Councilmember Martins.
Yes.
Councilmember Dodd.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We're going to move on to the ordinances. 2308 amendment construction code fees. Omar, can you please make the confirmation of publication of the ordinance of the title?
Okay. Ordinance number 23-08 was published in the Wednesday, May 17th edition of the record. Is an ordinance to amend the fee schedule. Section 10-1.3 of the revised general ordinances from the Borough of Tenafly, 2004, and sign up for fees.
I'd like to open the floor for any public comment on ordinance 23-08 only. Anyone in the audience here in the chamber would like to speak? Okay, seeing and hearing none. Anyone out on Zoom in public that would like to speak? Omar, you see anyone raising their hand? I'm going to close public comment and Councilman Bennett, would you like to make a motion, please?
I move to pass and adopt on second and final reading, ordinance 23-08. And that notice of change shall be published according to.
Have a second, please. Omar, can you please conduct the roll call?
Yes.
That's my first.
Yes.
Yes. That's my
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, ordinance 23-10, bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements. Omar, could you please read confirmation of publication and the title?
Sure. Ordinance number 23-10, we would ordinance published on Sunday, May 14th, edition of the record. And the ordinance provided for various capital improvements by the Borough of Tenafly, appropriating the aggregate amount of $2,288,480. Therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $2,122,000 bond or notes of the Borough to finance part of the cost thereof.
I'd like to open the floor for any public comments on ordinance 23-10 only. Anyone here in the council chambers would like to speak about this? Okay, seeing and hearing no one, we're going to go out on Zoom. Anyone out there, Omar, would like to speak with their hands up? Okay, we're going to close public comment on 23-10 and you can make a comment before we get the motion called. Yep. You want to make a comment?
I just want to again reiterate that in here is the purchase and installation of a new roof for the Tenafly library. It is also for the purchase of an ambulance and the Tenafly ambulance for and many other things for our municipality.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Michaels, would you like to read this and make a motion, please?
Sure. I move to pass and adopt on second and final reading, ordinance 23-10, and that notice of same shall be published according to law.
Have a second, please. Omar, can you please conduct the roll call?
Dave?
Yes.
That's my birthday?
Yes.
That's my minute? Yes. That's my rights?
Yes.
That's my right.
yes,
Okay, ordinance 23-11, appropriate funds for a preservation plan for the Tenafly Historic Railroad Station. Omar, please read the confirmation of publication of the ordinance and the title.
Ordinance number 23-11 was published in Sunday, May 14th edition of the record. It's an ordinance of the Borough of Tenafly and the County of Bergen, New Jersey, appropriating $20,000 for the architectural services for the development of the preservation plan for the Tenafly Historic Railroad Station.
I'd like to open the floor for any public comments on this ordinance 23-11 only. Any members of the public in the chamber would like to speak? Hearing and seeing none, we're going to move to Zoom. Anyone out there, Omar, who looks like they have their hand up to speak?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to close the floor for public comment on 23-11. Council President Grossman, would you like to make a motion on this ordinance, please?
I would, but before that, I just want to make sure everybody understands the train station, the Elizabeth Cady Stanton train station is really a prized gem of our neighborhood, the entire community and surrounding area. And we've seen between Notre Dame Cathedral and the church in Inglewood how this type of building can be destroyed in a matter of minutes. And so what we are doing is asking this resolution to hire someone who will help guide us to do the best job of preserving the building from fire to lower capacity sprinkler systems so that the wood doesn't work without a fire. So the body gains the made from this. So I thank the council for sticking with and it should get us more. I move to pass and adopt on second
And final reading, ordinance 23-11, and that goes the same, shall be published.
The second, please. Omar, please conduct a roll call.
Councilmember Dean.
Yes.
Councilmember Rosen. Yes. Councilmember Bennett. Yes. Councilmember Marcus.
Yes.
Councilmember Dodd.
Yes,
Okay, ordinance 23-12, appropriate funds for multipurpose recreation area. Omar, please read the confirmation, publication, and the title of this ordinance.
Ordinance number 23-12, an ordinance published in Sunday, May 14th edition of the record. This ordinance of the Borough of Tenafly, the County of Bergen, New Jersey, appropriated $225,000, creating a multi-purpose recreation area at the skate park and entire age 30.
I'd like to open the floor for public comment on this ordinance 23-12 only. Anyone in the chambers who would like to speak on this? Hearing and seeing none, we're going to look out to Zoom. Omar, is there anyone online there who'd like to speak?
I see on this one.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to close public comment on 23-12. Councilman Park, would you like to make a motion on this, please?
I would ask the office that the final reading for 12,
Have a second, please.
Second.
Omar, please conduct a roll call.
Councilmember Dean. Councilmember Rosen.
Yeah.
Councilmember Bennett.
No.
Councilmember Marcus.
Yes.
Councilmember Dodd.
yes,
We understand this is where the existing skate park is, all the local comments, and this is creating a brand new sports area and revitalize that, old skate park, redo the soccer cage turf, create better landscaping, walkability, and I think the one part we are dedicated to Jamie and rec department and the rec committee.
Okay, ordinance 23-13, supplemental bond ordinance for general improvement. Omar, please, confirmation, publication, and title of this ordinance.
Ordinance number 23-13 is published in Sunday, May 14th edition of the record. Bond ordinance supplementing section 3B of bond ordinance number 22-7, finally adopted in 2022, providing for the purchase of equipment by the Borough of Tenafly and appropriating an additional $250,000. Therefore, and by authorizing the issuance of an additional $204,000 bonds, one of those the borough to the financing costs thereof.
Okay, I'm going to open the floor for any public comments on ordinance 23-12 only. Anyone in the chamber would like to speak on this ordinance, please go on the microphone. You have to go off the microphone. Okay, give us a minute. Susan would like to answer that question with detail. You have to come off the microphone. Thank you, Susan. Anyone out on Zoom who would like to ask questions about this particular ordinance? Omar, is there anyone?
I see no hands, Mayor.
Okay, I'm going to close public comment on ordinance 23-12. Councilman Davis, would you like to make a motion, please?
I move to pass and adopt on second and final reading ordinance 23-12. And then notice of same shall be published according to law.
Second, please.
Second.
Omar, could you please conduct a roll call?
Councilmember Dean.
Yes.
Councilmember Rosen.
Yes.
Councilmember Bennett. Yes. Councilmember Marcus.
Yes.
Councilmember Dodd.
yes,
23-13 is published.
Councilmember. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any old business that they would like to discuss? No? There are no minutes to be approved tonight, Omar?
I'm sorry, Ben?
There are no minutes to be approved, it looks like?
No, Mayor, I don't have that.
Okay, anyone have anything for the good of the order? Does anyone have anything on upcoming meetings? Okay, I know, we're gonna skip committee reports tonight.
Well, can I actually?
Wait, hold, do you have something for upcoming meetings for the order?
No.
Okay, we're not there yet. Oh, yeah, but we're not there yet.
I was just.
I'm just playing for the future.
Preemptive.
Okay, fair enough. All right, on the new business, we have an introduction of the ordinance. Okay, Councilman Menon, this is 23-14, amending the planning board fees. Councilman Menon, would you like to make a motion here?
I will take it and pass on first reading ordinance 23-14 and such a hearing for the rule of 2023 at 8 p.m. or 8
Could I have a second, please? Okay, Omar, could you please read the title of the ordinance and conduct the roll call?
Sure. Ordinance number 23-14, an ordinance to amend the article chapter 6 fees of, oh, sorry. An ordinance to amend the article chapter 6 fees of, article 6 fees of chapter 35 land development regulations of the Rochester ordinances of the borough. Set by 2004.
Have a roll call. Make a motion yet?
Yes,
Yes, have a roll call, please.
that's where it is.
Yes.
That's where Rosen.
Yes.
That's where Minute. Yeah. That's where Records.
Yes.
That's where that okay.
Yes.
That's where we're. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna make a recommendation, except for special circumstances, that we skip committee reports tonight. And move on to closed session, which we have a lot of items. Dan, do you have any committee reports? Councilman Grossman?
Yeah, I just really do want to make sure that people know, at the recent planning board today, that an engineer for the Board of Education, and it wasn't a plan, but a concept that they were sharing to do some serious drainage behind Smith School. And again, and I did want the public to be aware of them, have it on the record, so that this is not something that's quietly happening. They want to redirect the drainage around the school to the stream. And that was part of the capital project courtesy. That will at some point be going before the Board of Ed, and I don't think that they are required to notify the public. I will try and keep that future meetings update the public on that. And according to the engineer for the planning board, the school is not required to retain water, so they don't have to put water retention systems in their fields.
So kind of on the, going to use last time we did it, and I will say that while the school engineer offered a plan, we did have the borough engineer offer an alternative plan. And we did weigh in on the school board.
So to that point, our engineer, the planning board engineer is looking at it to see if it's actually some additional work to make a side project that should be done up on Leroy Street and Victoria.
And didn't weigh that.
Right.
And stream and upstream for the back.
Right. In other words, the board looked at it in terms of board property.
Right.
And we're recommending that we look at it a little bit further, part of the borough property, because the borough might have to support it. So we'll see.
So last, I was just to say last time we did the review of the school engineering concept for that property. It was clear where the water running on into our roadways and our streets and creeks. So absolutely, and we were actually able to reimagine some of their plans because of the impact on local health.
To that, and I brought that before the war, that originally they didn't have an engineer for it. That was after I on, so that's why I did feel that's important to public have on the record, but if they're not going to do it.
Okay, Lauren, you have any highlight stuff?
I just want to thank the welcoming committee for the new residents there. And I think I spoke tonight about trying, so I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Got your one first priority, Joe. Go ahead.
I did not want to let it go, the congratulations feedback to this week is the end. famous recognition week, and I do want to recognize them for the job they do each and every day. April, I think 7 calls in that month. It's pretty impressive. Continue. I don't believe it's-
No. All right, Councilman Menon, anything to report? Great, thank you, Councilman Michaels. Councilwoman Dr. O'Connor, anything to report?
Just very quick detail is that for that last trash-a-thon, we collected 150 bags with 400 pounds of litter, as opposed to the trash-a-thon the year before where we collected 250 pounds. So we went up 150 pounds for this last trash-a-thon. So I just wanted to make sure everyone knows it. And we got to keep cleaning up trash.
Cleaning the streets. Okay, my only comment this evening is that the Memorial Day parade hosted sponsored by the Elks is Monday, kicking off from George Street at 9 a.m. on Monday. We'll march around town. We'll go to Highland Park, pay our respects, of course, and have a good parade. Okay, hope to see everyone there. All right, I'm going to ask our council to read our closed session legalese.
So this is now resolution R 23-221. At a meeting of the mayor and council of the borough of Tenafly County, Bergen State of New Jersey, held on May 23rd, 2023, the mayor and council of the borough of Tenafly and deemed it necessary to go to closed session to discuss certain matters and presented to the public. Be it resolved in compliance with NJSA 10:4-12, the mayor and council of the borough of Tenafly are going to close executive session to discuss the following: the collective bargaining, PPA contract negotiations, and the DPW supervisor contract update. The personnel and finance department and DPW, and under metropolitan attorney-client privilege, real property matters. Minutes will be taken in the meeting and released to the public at the time the matter is resolved.
I have a motion to go into close, please. Have a second? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, we're going into close.
So